Right, okay, welcome again. This is another video here, another art and animation video. I'm in Krita and we're going straight in with some frame animation. I'm just going to do some rough kind of practice positions and at the same time show you some stuff, okay? So using a combination of like silhouette scribble sketches and sketching over them, you know. This is why I called it in a Silo sketch, you know. That's why I called it that in the first place, you know, Silo sketch. So you can check it out. Don't forget to check my Patreon page out too. I've got a Patreon page for Silo sketch. We've got Silo sketch on YouTube, but also Silo sketch on Patreon. It's taking a while to load up, so I won't bother showing you it now, but do check in the links below, okay? But yeah, it was basically because I come up with this method. I mean, I was looking at the ways people do, like a lot of different artists out there do drawing and painting in different styles, and I'm inspired by a lot of that, and I learn too by watching others and practicing by myself. And as you know, you've seen me do things where I use like stick figures and stuff to draw characters, but I also do, like I've said, like using a silhouette like type scribble thing first, like a shape or something. I'll do a random strokes like this, you know, and I'll might do a random one, and then I'll start to, from that I'll start to see shapes, you know, and then I will literally just try to make something from it, like draw over the top of that. I'll bring it faint like that, and I'll go on top in another layer, and I'll start to draw shapes, you know. But what I was going to say is, like, I like to use these brushes as well, like these like paint brushes. I feel are really cool. Like these ones, you see, they give some real good variation, like in shapes, and it's like rough, and you know. I'll just turn the opacity down first. I like to do it like this, like a grey. I'll turn the opacity down. See all these different shapes and stuff. And you know, this could be anything. It could turn into an object, it could turn into scenery, but the difference is, like, you've got like a random way of doing it, and then you've got like you're going between random or planned, you know. I mean, I'm looking at this here, and I can see shapes already, you know. So let me just show you, for example, what I'm seeing with that. Okay, if I go on a new, you can see just different shapes and stuff, you know. So I go with a silhouette. You may decide first of all, right from the very beginning, you might decide to do like the head, like I do sometimes. I'll do a head, it might not even be like a circle. It just maybe like I've just done there, a rough shape. Like some scribbles across, so I can decide, okay, where's the face in all of that, you see. And then from that, it's kind of hard for me to explain, but then from there I'll do some kind of marks that lead the way down. These could be like wrinkles in clothes, they could be body position parts. Look, I'll show you. See, this is great, this is really good. I just got it totally random there, but we've got two totally different ones there, but already I can see something there, you know. So it's just yeah, this is pretty cool, I must say, already. So, you know, maybe you can see what I can see already, more or less. We're not doing an animation in this one, I'm just showing you something just quickly, okay. Also, I want to just mention that these could even turn into paintings. I could work with these silhouettes and start cutting stuff out and adding them with the same brush I was just using, like erasing areas and then adding things, and I could turn these into like shadow like type paintings even. But what I'm doing is I'm going to do drawing on top, the sketching, because I love sketching, as I say. And yeah, so look what I'm seeing here. Okay, this is what I can see here, and I'm going to do this like, I like to have the brush like a bit lower, like 70, or a kind of like dark grey, like you know, not full on black in the beginning, because it's like pencil almost, you know. And I'm just literally, and what I'll do, as I say, is I'll follow it either 100% or less than that. What I mean is I may just decide to add, I'm adding details as I go anyway, you know, so I can draw from my mind as well, not just following everything that's there. I'm just taking my pick from what I see in the information it's given, or you know, in the or the information that's not given, but you know, I'm just using my imagination and adding stuff, you see. So that's obviously a woman's head, right? And I'm sure now you can see kind of where I'm going for just by seeing the head straight away. I'm resizing things to make things work, you see. So it's great. It's like partly your imagination, partly reading off of shapes, and wow, it's just a special kind of training for the visual, you know. It really, really is. And I've done like these small eyes, and you know, it's like kind of anime, but it's kind of like realistic, you know. See, and I like that. I like to do that, you know. I like to do realistic kind of looking ones too, you know. I think, you know, the face is a little bit too big looking kind of thing, but I can change that as we go as well. And things like that I can change as we go as well. Like if I really want to change stuff, I can change it, see, to make it a bit better. Like you can work from your basic idea, and again, this could just be a this could just literally be a start off pencil sketch, you know. You could like work onto something better and draw on top of this and do a better one later on, but I'm just showing you the kind of basic like shapes I'm seeing now. Okay, that's what I'm doing. So keeping perspective in mind. So this is a head, so I've got to draw the rest of the head in, you see. So this is this here. Now if you can see what I can see, I can see some shapes here. In fact, that one's not perfect, the accurate. So I'm just changing a few things to make it almost perfect. I'm going to put that there, working in the shoulders and all the rest of it as we go. And yeah, I'm just going to put a. See, I still need to think. Like I may want to include some like stick figure type stuff. I might want to go in on another layer and draw like a stick figure in, you know. So that's the. I'm trying to draw it as though she's got her arm behind something here, you see. And I don't want to take ages. This is not supposed to be some kind of masterpiece. I'm just doing some, you know, basic thing here. And then once you start adding the colour in, and then when you finish your sketch, you just basically, you know, get rid of the scribble behind it. I'm saying, you know, and just have what you have. So what I need to do is decide now, looking in this mess of stuff that I have here, I have to decide where the hand is. Now sometimes you can see a hand, sometimes you can't. Sometimes I'll see something that might look usable for a hand. Sometimes I might go back in and work out a shape or something, like work out where the hand's going to be. So I'll look into this and see, does it look like she's holding something, for example, you know. Or I may even, and this is the beauty of digital art too, is software, you can cut things up and move them around and reshape them like this. You can move this out. It looks like almost like she's holding something here. So I'm just gonna, you know, I could have it like she's holding something here. See. Okay, so let's do that. I could make. See, I'm looking at this here. It looks like a hand shape to me. This looks very much like a hand. I can actually see a hand here. I could even ignore that whole big shape and just, you know, use this as the hand. See that it looks kind of okay to me. I was gonna, and I can like change things slightly and just keep erasing if you need to until you find the right perfect shape, you know, until you're really happy and it looks okay to you. You know, this is not perfect by any means. I'm just trying to see what I can see as I go, you know. But yeah, make sure you're on the right layer. It's good obviously when you've got like the different opacity and stuff, because you can see what layer you really are on, you know. I have to keep adjusting the brush size. I'm not used to like using shortcuts to change brush sizes and stuff like that either, so you know, you can always look at your own hand too while you're doing things. Look at your own body for that reference too, or in your photos if you have any photos up on your screen or computer, you know. So I'm going to actually go with that. I'm going to go with that hand. I was going to have it like she's holding something, but now I'm not going to bother. Now once you know where that hand is, it's easier then you just to work the arm up to where the shoulder is. So thinking about the perspective of the elbow, put a little dot for a point if you wish to, and then work everything towards that point for the elbow. You know, the best way to do it, you know. Yeah, that's what I do anyway. Damn it. And you know, you're able to draw stuff that you would not be able to draw, or that I find anyway, that I would not be able to draw if I wasn't doing this method, you know. If I wasn't doing it like this, if I was doing it freehand from my mind, I would have a lot of difficulty doing this. You may want to adjust things and change the shape of certain areas and stuff, you know, as you go along. That's okay. Like for example here, I'm just going to do that, you know, and you know, that's that. So the body, yeah, again, see certain things again, even like here now, I'm noticing there's some troubles I'm having, because it's not going to match up properly like to a body, is it? It's not going to look exactly right. The hip's a little bit too, if this is a hip, it would be way too high for the hip to be here. I feel the hip's a bit lower, but you still got to make that be visible, you know. So I have to put, as I said, the rib cage has got to go in, and the body here, and then just then it's partly doing it your own way, see, partly you doing it yourself as well, see. So you got sometimes you've got to switch off and just ignore the mess behind it as well, the silhouette. I'm just erasing this to make the arm a bit more, the arm's a bit more thinner, okay, slimmer, whatever. Okay, that's that, about there. It's fixing up areas behind there, okay, like that. So I don't know what this is behind it. Maybe it's a fence or something, right? So we can put a bit of that fence in. Maybe I could have like the arm dipped down and then the hand holding on top again. I was thinking maybe on the top bar, maybe down below here, maybe even. I'm still not sure about the other arm yet, but we're doing it, you know. This hair, it's easy, you just put that down like that. Put a bit over the bar, maybe make it like that. Just make it like some little gate or some kind of fence or something there. Okay, put those across. And just see where that goes in. Try and work that, you know, from the rib cage where it should be really, but I'm just putting some lines in to, just so I know for myself what we're doing, you know. We're not going to have such strong lines like that, but we're just like trying to work it all out, you know, at this point in time. Look at the shape. And I would not be able to do this if it wasn't for that. Now, looking here, obviously, it looks like two legs are going in either direction here, right? So I was thinking that in the beginning, we could work the legs out here. We could like just do two legs anyway. But my idea was like to have like a dress or something anyway, like a long dress. Not something that I usually draw a lot of, but see, I was just thinking to like follow those lines just for a quick sketch anyway, you know. So I was going to do that just for this image. So it's on the next Disney character. I don't know. I'm going to have this hand on top here. maybe like that. Put a few simple fingers in, get away with that, see. And then put a hand there. I don't want to make the arms super unnaturally long, you know. I think that kind of works okay. That's kind of what we want to have, right, more or less. I'm going to do this, make it like a fence, as I say, bro. I mean, guys. Not bro, sorry. We're going to put this down here, like this, and we're basically done with it, you know. We're basically done with it. I've put a little bit extra perspective on them bars there. Could put some long grass or something like here, make it like you're standing in a field or something, you know. There's some kind of gate or something, I don't know what the hell it is. You know. Make them kind of like rounded or something like that. These beams. Poles, and then you know, like something like that, right? Put the belly button in or whatever, and then you know, just adjust it until you're happy with it, you know. Adjust it until you're happy with it. That's better there, see. And then the hair on the back there. It's not going to be perfect, you know, but there you go, you know. That's the first one. Oh, excuse me. A few lines to indicate where legs are and stuff. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase that back one. We're not going to take too long on the other one, don't worry. Don't erase the wrong layer. You see, and then you get your picture. It's not the best, but it's okay. It's a picture, nevertheless. Bring that up like that if you want to do that. I usually keep it like kind of low. It depends on what kind of colour I'm doing. And I'll go below that and just add a bit of colour. Let's add a bit of colour now. Okay. You know, and yeah, you know, I didn't have to do the colour. I just get carried away, you know. When I'm doing these pictures I get carried away, like I want to do more. Good thing is you can add colour on different layers, don't forget too, and you don't have to worry about messing everything up. You can go over lines and then go on top on another layer, things like that. See, like I've gone over some lines I shouldn't have here, but I can just clean that up, you know. Like even here too, even like lines, you can also clean your lines up as you go as well, like erase in certain areas and clean your sketch up to actually be, excuse me, a better version of itself. You know, you can clean it up to be like a much better sketch. So rather than have to draw over everything again, you can just literally clean up your sketch, and sometimes they turn out much better that way because it's more natural too, you know. So it's nice to just clean up those natural lines you have, the edges and stuff. I used to always use the you know, the fill tool as well and all that, you know, but nowadays I like to paint freehand. I like to just paint the colours in. I think it's just to do with the fact that I've just been improving in general. Well, I like to think I have in terms of sketching, you know. So let's just jump in with the colours just really quickly. Yeah, so you know, I will have, I can make another layer below this and have sky. We're doing this all on a 100% opacity, meaning not transparent at all, depending on which angle you're thinking of that to be. I was originally thinking to have these two people in one scene together, you know. But yeah, I'm working on different layers for most of the stuff, like, especially if it goes outside of lines and stuff, you know, or if it's just really awkward to work. Well, like, if it's awkward to work with, I mean, you know, like small details, or like the eyes and stuff here. Certain things might be easier to work with. Again, like the eyes again too, and the shape of that face. I mean, it's not rounded enough, I don't think, but it's okay. But you know. But the eyes there are a bit, you know, excuse me. See, they could be fixed up a little bit. I mean, they're really rough, they're really sketchy eyes in general anyway, you know. But you won't see that from far away, it's just a simple thing, right? So I'm just trying to make this quick, this picture. I'm not trying to make it epic, you know, great or anything. I'm just trying to make it simple. bit of black there. Okay, it's just simple for this one, okay. Yeah, so obviously I've gone over lines and stuff by accident, as you've seen, but you know, I'm just going to do what I'm doing. Give us some darkish here. We'll go on the another layer. Yeah, another layer. We'll do the black here or dark here. We go. All of the colours, remember, are underneath the line art layer, so I'm seeing the lines on top always. Otherwise, it would be hard to see. So what I'm doing now is I'm painting over the areas where I've gone over the lines by accident, right, on the under layers, but it's not showing up because I'm painting the right colours on top of those areas, around and on top of. So you see, I like to have a nice contrast of colour. If I was to have like a yellow blonde hair, like very light, it would be too bright against her skin, I think. Colour depends. No, I mean, you may want to have that, but I'm just saying, you know, don't have colour clashes and things like that, or brightness clashes, whatever. You know, certain things. Oh, the bra could do with a strap in the middle, otherwise those two cups could come busting open. Oh dear me. I mean, so we do that quickly. those two cups could come busting open. Oh goodness. We're going to have a red. We're going to have what colour should we have now? Let's have red. It's where the boys get to choose, right? So the boys are back in town. Toy Story again. I have not seen Toy Story 4, let alone 3. But you know what? I'm not keeping up to date with a lot of films in general, let alone animated ones. But I love anime, you know, really. Now we're going to have some brown. Not too dark, not too light brown for the fence, and I'll put the grass behind this. So sometimes can be a little bit of a puzzle sometimes to work out, but sometimes it's like, excuse me, sometimes it's you know, it's a bit of fun to work it out, like which layers are on top of which. You know, there's an extra line we don't need here. Excuse me. Okay, good. Right, let's go back. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. I quickly coloured them in. Sometimes zooming in is a better, faster and more accurate way to work when you're colouring, especially like this freehand. But sometimes, like working, painting over this, you see here, sometimes, I'm not over the thumb, sometimes zooming out is faster because you need to work with less area to colour. It's that little trick. It's to do with your distance, it's to do with your brush size really. Still going to do some erasing in a moment to erase like areas like those lines there, like the skin or any colours that went outside of the lines that need to be maybe worked. The same with lines too, like cleaning up the edges of some of those lines. I'm going to give a, you know me, I'll go for a pink, damn it. Pink or like purplish. Hang on, choose your colour. So you just take your choice. If you don't like the look of one, try another one. It's okay because you're not messing anything up. You don't need to worry about erasing. We're not using actual. We're not going on top of like the lines. It's another layer underneath. So we can always change the colour, you know, until it's like merged down and stuff. If you was working on paper, it'd be a bit different. Let's go on that same skin layer, I think, now to add the grass in here, because we can do that. It's underneath all of that, so that's good. Can do a bit of grass there. I can even put a bit of lighter grass, maybe a bit behind that to be safe. A little bit there, just like that. And then what I could even do here is, I was going to say like blend it in, but no, I think I'll just put like some silhouette kind of like shaped grass, just like that with the lines here. Okay. You may think the black lines are a bit too ugly looking. Of course, like you can erase. This is a sketch, isn't it? I didn't do like a picture and then draw a good one on top. I've just done a sketch, but you know, I've noticed that you can do some really nice stuff sometimes. You don't have to worry too much. Just clean it up, you know. These hands are like rough, I know. Extra lines of things we don't really need, things like that. When you're far out, zoomed out, you're not going to see a lot of that. It's not going to worry, you don't have to worry too much. This here, cleaning up certain areas, like this hand's a real mess, I know. See, raise one finger, damn it. Okay, just like try and clean up a bit nicer, maybe, you know. It's a bit of work, but then it's a bit of work, but at the same time, it's like, well, you know, you would if you had to draw the whole thing again. That would be work, wouldn't it? You know, draw another black line in here, fix that up, and I can even erase parts of the skin if I need to. So let's go with that. Erasing now areas of colour that we don't need. Here, once this is done, I'm going to take the line's opacity down slowly, paint any areas in. Holding down, as I say, control on the keyboard and then clicking down with your pen or mouse will pick colours from what you've got on the screen, okay? Oh, excuse me, holding control and pressing Z obviously erases. Undoes or anything you did, any steps you took. So taking a look at it, give it a look over, you know, once you're happy with it and such, you can then take it to the next step, which will be like adding some shading onto it, some shadows. And the way I usually do it is I make a duplicate of the layer or the layers I'm working with, and then I will erase from one to reveal the one below it areas. And what I do is basically I'll have one darker than the other, so the darker one on top or the lighter one on top. That's what I usually do. I'll show you in a moment. Just trim this down a little bit. Still got issues with that grass, but that's okay. We have to have the brush selected for if we want to be selecting colours from the screen, colour picking. Just to do that a little bit, just to fill that up. Okay, good. And this side, of course, as well. Okay. Just doing that. Okay. There we go. You can even go in and draw a couple of lines on the right layer too, black lines and stuff like that if you really want to do that. Now we didn't have any clouds in the sky. I can always work that sky in a moment, or sun, but I'm not going to bother. I'm going to put the colour. What I'm going to do is do a simple way rather than working the different layers. I'm just going to bring down the lines a little bit, the opacity, see here, of the lines, not too, because I don't want them too strong because they're kind of rough, but it makes them kind of cleaner looking if you do it that way. Then I'm going to merge, I'm going to actually well, I had a few soft clouds in the sky to that area, and I'll just I'll merge everything down, and then I'll start working the shadow. No, I'll merge the well, the ones I need to, I guess. Yeah, okay, so let's just get some clouds on here. We'll just do some simple clouds. I think I'll just paint someone like this, paint some lines and stuff like that. I don't want to have too much because it would be too distracting, and that it's another thing, you don't want to have cluttered scenes, you know, as well. I'm blurring them using this blending brush. That helps a lot as well. Okay, it really helps a lot. Okay, now one thing you can do is add like a nice, add a soft a blur to the whole thing as well if you want to, and that can be good sometimes, to the whole thing, like later on if you want to. You don't always need to. I'm just adding a little bit of a blur here to the grass in the back there, and that kind of blends that in nicely a little bit with the back there, you see, as well. Don't go over the top, but you know. Okay, so now that's that. Yeah, we're going to go in with that shading now. So we've got all full opacity, don't forget, with most of our layers. It's good sometimes to do the shading with just the colours like first, and then merge the lines down and everything at the end. Otherwise you may have brightness issues with duplicates of the lines and everything. So we've got the colours on separate layers, all below, every layer is below the character lines, sorry. Okay, so there she is. I'm going to go to merge layer below. I'm merging all of the colour layers down basically, apart from the sky one. Okay, so we've got this like this. Okay, now, okay. We've got the lines here. They are on 56% opacity, but that's okay. But I'm going to merge them down. I'll merge them down. It's okay. So now we've got this. There's one character here, one on one line, one layer. Which we've got the sky behind. We've got the grass here too, but that's okay. And then you got this is on the next layer below it, and then you got another grey below that. But let's just do this one first. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this. I may do the other one in another video. We'll see. I said I was going to do some animation, but I kind of messed up. I was just saying that you can do animation like with this kind of method, you know. And I'll be doing more in another video. So I'm going to bring down the brightness of this particular above layer, what I've got there, and I can use a normal brush or whatever, any brush, to erase from this top layer to reveal the layer below. So it depends on which one. I can have the light on top or the dark on top. We can do like a soft shading or hard, like cel shading, like anime type style, and I want to do it that way. Let's just do it this way first. So make sure you're on the above layer, the top layer. Okay, excuse me, get rid of, excuse me, what? Go with, we're going to imagine where the light source is coming from. So the light source is like from the right hand side, we're going to say, right? So from the left hand side, I mean, from the left hand side. I don't know why I'm just shading this area first, it's just my preference. Okay, and you know, there we go. And alright, it's not nice, I guess, just putting her face directly in the dark like that, but you know, which is really in the light's coming from the other side most predominantly, isn't it? You can see that. Catching a bit of light on the other side there, as I say. We're going to bring back the brightness as well in a moment, because it's a little bit too dark for our scene, I think. She's like in the dark. We could have had it another way, like, you know, we could have had it so that the light is shining on her. We could have done it the other way, you know, the light's from the front. But I'm just trying to play around with the light. Okay, so you got this here, trying to imagine where the shadows are when you're playing with cloth and stuff like this. It can be a bit of fun, you know. The grass as well, like this shady areas, and any objects like this thing here, you know, and all that. Yeah, okay, so doing all that. Don't take too long, it depends what kind of, you know, scenes you're doing, really. So you're gonna work out and find the balance, okay, between it basically. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring that up much brighter, I think, because I'm not too happy with it. The layer below that, it's a bit too dark, I feel. So, you know, you've got to find what you want to do. So I think we're just going to go with that. I think that's going to be okay just for now. It's a simple picture anyway. We're not trying to make a masterpiece, really. I've merged those two layers down now. We're going to add a little bit of brightness there, change it a bit, see. Okay, now it's like balanced in a bit more. Add a little bit of soft blur. I'm going to merge it down with the sky now. I'm going to add a soft blur to the overall thing. Very soft blur, nothing crazy. Hold on. And you can always play with the contrast a bit more if you want to do that. Okay, like bring it out a bit better. Depends what you want to do. Maybe not like that. You can play with the colour adjustments as well, the curves adjustments or whatever. But I think that's basically what we're going to have from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this one out and just save that as an image. So go trim that. So go trim, yeah, okay. I'm going to save that one out. Okay, save that one out. Didn't know I was going to draw this woman. I did not know at all. I just looked into the random scribble that I did, that sketch in the beginning, you know, and that's what I had. So that's what I ended up with. So I'm going to save that there. Go back out. Delete that one. you know, bang, I'm going to bring this one into the forefront. I'm going to do something else. With this one, obviously, I'm not going to go too crazy and do too much. I'm just going to do a sketch on top of it and show you, okay? Just check that picture just really quickly, though, again. So there's another one there. And that just came from a sketch and a bit of imagination. It's rough, I know. It's not brilliant, but, you know, at least it's a way. And you could, like, do a rough sketch like that first. Rough lines, like, it's kind of rough, I know, drawn. But then you could make another layer on top and do a nice, clean line art layer. And then, if you wanted to, you know. Or you could work it into a painting, a realistic painting, or you can just colour it like I've done it, or just do a black and white comic, or do animation, which I love doing, okay? So let's just check the other one, okay? So let's check the other one out now. And Critter, as I say, this one looks like, you know, again, it could be anything. I'm looking at this and it could be absolutely anything. I'm not joking when I say that as well. But let's just see. I'm just looking at it, trying to get the best visual I can muster. I'm looking at some kind of woman's dress or something there. I don't know, man. So let's just see. I always turn the opacity slightly down first. Start with a thin brush, a thin normal pen, and I'm going to just draw the best I can with black. Don't have to, you don't have to, but you know. Yeah, I'm going to do a few lines. Some of these broken lines are good to have. So I'm just, obviously there's a hat, she's wearing a hat. It's funny, like when you see these silhouettes, you can just see straight away, you know. And it's like, she's holding something there. I'm thinking, I don't know what the hell that is. Maybe it's the arm, maybe the hands. Maybe she's holding something, I'm not too sure. I'm just trying to work this out myself. Okay, so that's definitely an arm, yeah. But it looks like I'm going to have to put the arm in myself, so we put the hand in first. I was going to have it like she's holding her hat, but then at the same time it's like, no. Maybe I can do that. Okay, maybe we can have it like she's holding her hat. Okay. So the hand's here, one hand's there. Do some dainty little fingers. A little bit too small, I think, but you know, whatever. Put the arm. So let's work out what the shoulder's going to be. Right, so we're going to have a neck here. I'm going to try and work out the eyes like she's looking on one side. I've not worked out the face exactly yet. You know, so you've got this hair here. Hair like that. And she's got this big elaborate, it looks like almost like she's holding a guitar or something. You see that. We're not going to have that though. The hand, as I say, is a little bit, the hands can be confusing to draw, can't they? You know, really can. The arms and hands. I want to have it like her arms here anyway, so I can always draw it in one way. See, I might want to do like a stick figure first. You see, sometimes I'll do a stick figure first on another layer. Excuse me. I'll do a stick figure first. I'll do this. You know, I'll literally do that. I'll put the body there and work out. You see where everything's going to go, the hips and that. You see, and that can be a great thing to do. But I'm doing the black. I'm just going in freehand, which is good practice too. So obviously the fingers are a bit too. When I say dainty, I mean, well, yeah, got to give her some kind of fingers, you know. A human being. So, mind you, I kind of made her more like monster hand there. Hold on. So yeah. Okay, so that's almost ready. Yeah. Okay, now it's talking to me. Now it's talking to me. Almost talking to. Almost. Hold on. So you get that too thick with the lines. I'm trying to go with like a thin look, but a thin type of like practice also. So okay, let's work with a different part of the body. If something's not working, you work with another part. Okay, basically. So this is here. This is her shoulders are partly open there. This is basically a dress type thing she's got on here. Okay, cut right down the middle. My goodness, you can see it all. And literally what I'm seeing. So, you know, obviously you don't want to make the shoulders too wide then. See, there's another thing, so you can get over the top. I keep adjusting my brush as well, so like this. See, that's what I'm saying, I can't follow the justice, you see, just this thing. It's hanging down a bit off of her shoulder, which is pretty cool actually, yeah, okay, cool. This one then, okay, maybe I can work this one then, as well to be similar, like that. I wasn't thinking that originally, but yeah, I can do that. So I'm doing this, the shoulders going in here, the neck, fixing up the neck then, as I say, kind of thing. You may end up with all these messy like lines, but you just clean them up and it ends up good, you know. You know, it's basically what it is, and you just fix it up until it looks right. That kind of looks like she's got her kind of like her shoulders like kind of raised a little bit anyway, sort of there. You know, that's looking way way too, what's the word, provocative. And we'll put this, I have to put something there, otherwise we're going to see everything. Okay, so that's going to be up there. You know, maybe a bit more together. Hold on. But you like think of the human anatomy. You know, yeah, the human anatomy. That's what it's all about. You know, and you'll be able to do remarkable things. And this is cloth, as I say, hanging down. So let me see. So some weird. It is a weird piece of clothing. I'm trying to work it out because I want to give her some kind of figure. I don't want it to, that could be a handbag hanging down there. That's what that could be. Yeah, okay, so off of her side there, some handbag or something. See, yeah. See, I would not be able to draw that usually on a normal day. But I don't need to do this. I can just literally, remove, reposition this arm and resize it. See, like that, and that works really well. Zoom in. Still a bit rough, I know, but you know, it's great how you can do that, right? So yeah, going there with a pen. Again, as I say, on the right layer would help, and then just add the, yeah, join the arm in, right? Like maybe like this sort of thing, you know. Okay, good. And then we're going to go. Well, this arm was supposed to be like held up in front of her, and I think the funny thing is I still can do that. But I think it would hide her shoulder. It looks like she's holding something here. I don't know. I'm just thinking like we'll just put her hand on her hip. I think put a hand here in a moment. That's a great idea. Put a hand here. If I could draw a human hand, you know. Yeah, man, and that's gonna be great. See, by doing something like that, it's not perfect. I know. Like, see. This is what I'm saying to you. So like what I would do is I'd have like, I'd go to my Silo Sketch, you know, check the brand, see, and I'll do something like that, and now straight away with the magic, you know, just tells you the information you need. If you can't get the lines, work the silhouette. That's the best thing I've learned, because the silhouette you can always recognize, or I can. The silhouette you can recognize better sometimes, you know. Hold on, I'm just trying to work out this hand shape the best, at least the best I can. So, you know, I can see it. Needs a bit of focus, definitely. Do a rough one first, it's totally fine, and then work it up as you go, see. So I'm working the arm down. Thin arm, but like enough meat to it. You know, it goes a bit further back there. Okay. See, what I really need to do is I really need to work this out. So I should put an arm here and then here, and I still need to change things. You see, still need to change it. That's all right. It's all practice. You know what I mean? It's all practice. So don't worry about it. That's what you should do. You work out the position of where something's going to go. So this is going to be here. Oh, no, it's wrong. See, I'm thinking about that, and I'm not in relation to the arm. So this is going to go down here. Maybe, hold on. Get slightly out a bit further, and then carefully do that. I'm just working it in. See, imagining it like some 3D shape. It's like a bit forward anyway, right? So, you know, there, something like that. Maybe here. Maybe even here, right? Yeah, so I still need to fix it. See, even here, see, it's wrong. Okay, it's coming into play. It's just telling me now. It's telling me what I need to do. And I can do all this like scribble sketching and stuff on another layer, but you know, it doesn't take too much fuss when you actually know what you're doing. You can just like practice, like just cleaning as you go, and it seems to work. Working and cleaning, you know. And I mean, for the most part, it's okay. You know, you got the idea. It's not perfect, but far from perfect. But you know, pretty rough. Trying, I'm cleaning up and stuff as I go. You can see, like, it's not that great. See, but I'm learning the position of everything as I go. You know, and this is here. More straight, right? More straight should be. More straighter. Basically, yeah, and then seems like this line here maybe is a bit wrong. Okay, hold on. Put the knuckles line first. Look at the thumb goes. I just find it hard to draw hand. Basically, is what it is. You might find it easy. I know a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't find it easy. So there we go. Like Rose getting on the Titanic, right? Looks like it almost. It's not Rose. She doesn't even have a face. Give her a face in a moment here, okay? I don't want to give her such a pointy chin, kind of round chin. Okay. Kind of small head, I must say. So maybe we can like fix that head up even. Just fix that head up a little bit, you know. But then again, can we? We can fix up the head without moving the hat. Okay, let's do it. Okay, I'm gonna do it, and then I'll fix up the hat as I say. In however I want. Yeah, you see, I can do that. I can. It doesn't need to be massive, the head, you know, it makes it better though, see? And you get afraid because you don't want to like move stuff, you know. But you must be on the right layer. You know, fix things up as you go and see what you're doing. You know. That's what I do. Bit of hair maybe at the back there, maybe see a little bit. I don't know, just work it as you go. That's what I do. Sugar. You may find yourself muttering explicitives. How do you say that word? I don't know what kind of hat this is, but still, you know. Got a cowboy hat or something there. Looks like almost, like some hat. You can put a flower in it or something, make it nice like later on, and do stuff if you want to do that. So some lines. Okay, I want to have those, you know, shoulders a little bit more natural. Hold on. But not so many dirty lines and stuff. I want it to be nice, you know. But, okay, whatever. Sometimes with all these shadows and stuff behind it, like this scribble sketch that we have, it looks kind of like cool as well, you know, sometimes. I want to quickly hurry up now and finish this if I can, really quickly, because it's, you know, it is a lot of work. I mean, you don't want to take forever on it, you know. Yeah, that's coming back together, you see. Okay, so this is here. Think of the body as though it's a 3D shape as well, as I say. You'd imagine that. And then the hip is here. It's got a certain kind of position about it, actually, as well, which I should have mentioned in the first place. I can't make them too high, I guess. The hip here, but this hip is slightly higher. I'm going to make this just like a top. I was going to make it like hanging down or something like that, with a different thing going on, but I think I've got to change that idea now. Just have to. You know, try and work this out. Hang on. So let me see. I can't make it like a really overly. Let me see. I'm trying to work this out, man. Okay. Seems to me like one arm. Yeah, one arm's a little bit shorter or something. I think that's what the deal is. Although it doesn't seem it, but it seems like there's something wrong there with the arm. It's a little bit too short or something, right? I'll erase that piece of clothing as well in a moment. Yeah, that looks better. You see, immediately, straight away, fixes it up, kind of thing, right? So you may need to fix things up. Okay, let's go. So we're doing pretty good. Just cleaning those lines up there, as I say. We don't need. You know, and it depends what you want to do. I was going to have it like this, something hanging down there, but I don't think now. I think what we'll do is we'll just do some like subtle creases and stuff like that. I think is what I'll do. That's all I can really do with that, after all. Yeah, see. It's like that. It's not. It's still not exactly what I was thinking about, you know, in the first place. Something like this, you know. Ah, not like that. Hold on. But you know, you got the idea. But the, again, even the hip is a bit. The hand is a little bit wrong positioned in relation to the hip. So I need to rotate that a little bit or something. But I don't want to. Got to be careful, yeah. You see, because that arm's there in a certain position. But it's okay. And again, you don't want to take any away from the figure as well, the woman. Right layer here. Doesn't matter if you accidentally go on the wrong layer as well, like under the sketch below, because it's not a real thing. I'm just altering the main image, aren't I? You know, on top, the real image, you know. So that's that. Okay, nearly done. I'm going to put a pair of shorts bases. I'm going to give her a pair of shorts under those legs, because that's like a really short kind of top thing anyway. You see, I was going to give like a pair of shorts anyway, something like that, you know. Anyway, so put the other leg back there. Yeah, you kind of get the idea. The hips about there, and then this goes down. Barely see the knees, kind of thing, like there, you know. I could draw the knees in and that, you know, just quickly. Put the knees there, you know, something like that. It's not perfectly done there, but you know, knees slightly in like that on the side. Okay, and then you know this here, and then you know it kind of speaks for itself. You know, and there you go. You know, I guess we could put some colour in that after all. What I like to do for some of these sketches, I like to keep, as you see me, I like to keep the sketch as well. She's looking at herself, my video. okay, like that, you know. And then as I say, you know, I clean up the lines sometimes before I put the colours in. Sometimes I'll clean up the lines, excuse me, I erase certain areas I don't want to, just sort of fix it out, add stuff as I go, and like keep it still like a sketch maybe, but like, you know, just clean it up nicely. And if you've got like clean lines that just are, you know, absolutely, what's the word, cleaned up in general, if you've got lines like that from the word go, I mean, that have no, I mean, like no break in the gaps, if there's no gaps like such, you know, then you've already got something you can work with, like, you know, by just filling, like if you're using the fill tool for the colours, or merging it down onto a layer below it, you know. That's good. A little smile in there. See, a little subtle thing like that adds to it, you know. You know, and then you can just merge it down, as I say, and then you'll have a better. So I mean, you can just get the colours in without having to paint them in. You know, I still feel there's an issue with this arm. I just feel there's an issue with the arm a little bit. And the hat, I could make this hat to be a bit of a cheat, so I'll just make this hat a little bit bigger, just ever so slightly. And what it is you see the arm should be about here, really. I think that's what I'll do then. I'll just erase that hand and just draw the hand facing out, maybe just like, I don't know, just gesturing, so to speak, you know. And we don't have to have the hat so big after all. You have the hat here, you know, and just do it like that, you know. And this is one of those instances, because hands are difficult. You may want to just do it like using a silhouette first to draw a hand. Okay, so let me just work this out. Hold on. A little sketch like I showed you earlier on, you know. That I'll do more when I do, you know, but it's on the angle as such, the hand, so we don't have to worry too much. Okay, I want to do it like that, make sure it's like thin, excuse me, thin a little bit. Being really careful here because I don't want to mess it up, but that's the thing, that's that mentality again, you see. You can't have that mentality. You'll be like, don't worry about it, you can fix it, you know. Something like that, you know. Just gesturing, you know. So I'm nearly done, guys. Thank you very much for watching. This is what as I always say, you know. I want to add some colour on top of this, like really, but you know. So she wasn't like really posing too much with the hips and that turning as I was thinking in the beginning, but you know, in the beginning I was really looking at it like, you know, like with some shapes. I was really thinking like she's here, you know, and this is like up here, you know, and oh, that means one hip's there and one's here, and you know, like this kind of thing. And yeah, but it's like I just changed it, you know, sort of like that kind of thing. I was thinking like this is hanging down or something. See, I can do some kind of thing there, but okay. So now what I'll do is I'll just put some basic colour, I guess, put it on a full opacity. Oh, wrong layer, excuse me. Full opacity, and as I say, you can see that it's a rough sketch, but it's like I can add these colours and make it nice. You can clean up your lines, you can make a sketch look really nice sometimes, you know. If I colour that bra in, it'll be even more nice or more worse as well, you know. let's just put, what colour should we have? A yellow dress or what? Pink dress? We'll have pink. Shall we? Hang on, we'll just do the skin first. See, when I'm zoomed out like this, it gives me less work. If you're really zoomed in fast, zoomed in far, I mean, you can really have a lot of hassle, even drawing, colouring in a certain small area, you know. Another thing too you'll notice is when you're doing your line sketches or drawings, they don't always look as good as they will as when you put some colour in. When you put the colour in, you're like, wow, it's much better than I thought, and you're happy you didn't delete it with frustration. And that can happen too, you know. Remembering what layers are on top of which. I've got this layer on top here, but I nearly drew. I had to remember because I can't paint over the hands and stuff like that. What's in front, obviously. You know. Okay, so there we go. It's coming together, okay. And I say, just colour in everything accordingly. Just testing yourself. I'll go for like red here, whatever. I'll go for, I'm just trying to see what colour is best. Yellow, I don't know, man. No idea what colour to have. Like yellow, pink and yellow, this one. I say, put some flowers on there and stuff and work it all out. Red handbag, how about it? Red handbag. Could have had another colour, but sorry, red. Hair, let's have a darkish or a lightish kind of brown. Okay, simple as. Put a bit of white in there for the eyes in a moment, just because I always do that. Get rid of a bit of that line. There's a bit of an ugly line I don't like. Just erasing that, cleaning a few areas up as we go, as I say. And give it an extra clean over when you're finished. Time allows. So that's that. You can't really see the eye too much, as I say, or some of these like rough details and stuff when you're like far away, obviously. Right. Oh, excuse me. But you know, the thing is, it's nice to clean it up. I mean, you know, see, even like this dark area here really should be like coloured in. These certain things, you know. You're like just cleaning, tidying up as you go. Strange looking artifact there. Oh, hold on. Okay. Fixing things up as we go. You see, going in, just cleaning things up. I'll add some shading in a moment. A nice shade to it. There's extra artifacts like this line here we don't really need. Other things here that could help. Other black lines you could have, go stronger, you can make it like fainter. That might help as well, like having it a little bit fainter. See, yeah. I'm gonna say having a bit of white in there for the eyes, you know, as well. Under there for the eyes, you know, and yeah, all that stuff. But as I say, you know, just going in, erasing a few areas, making it nice and clean, and then once you're really ready with it, you're really okay with it as such, you know, then you can decide to put your shaded in, which is what I'm going to do now. Okay, so let's go with that. I'm going to merge that, have it like this. I'm not going to have the lines too strong, see. I'll do a darker version. Let's merge those colour. Oh, what the hell just happened? Undo that. Merge those two layers down. Make a duplicate. I usually make a fairly, you know, duplicate version of it. Like, you know, really duplicate. I mean, a darker. Sorry, please excuse me. I mean, a fairly darker one. You know. The only problem is now you see some artifacts that I didn't want to be there. You know, so. Good way to see that in the beginning, if you're really not too sure of what you're going to have, is have another colour like behind for a start. Don't worry about this shape, this thing. I'm going to have that visible. So when you see something like that, you can see immediately the areas that you need to go over. See, so just fix up. So I'm going to do that. It's a bit of a fuss, but to do it, you know. You can just clean up a few of those areas, but you get a bit frustrated sometimes, you know, when you see them. But you don't want it to be showing through necessarily. But you know, I'm just picking colours off as I go here. You know, just colouring. Oh, excuse me. Colouring as I go. You know, all these little gaps and areas of blue that I'm seeing shining through. I'm just trying, and areas like that, I'm trying to, you know, get rid of those just really quickly. See, thing here, boom, boom. Erasing artifacts I don't like as I go, as well, as I say. And I think that's going to be okay now for the most part, right? For the most part, it's okay. Okay. And I'm just going to erase. I'm just going to so make a duplicate of that now, make it darker, and then start erasing to show the light, or vice versa, showing the shadow. Bringing this one down. Okay, fairly darker, so we can. Yeah, I want to cut through to see the light. That's what I want to see the light. Let's go. See the light. So the light's going to come from this side. I'm going to try and make sure it's a good lighting situation. So yeah, just following the direction of the light for the most part, you know. Little areas like that. Remember your, remember the direction of everything. The creases in the clothes, shadow under the chin, what's being covered by the hat, for example, things like that as well might be partially covered, or the under the chin there, under the hat you see here. Make it like realistic as such, you know. Little areas, don't get carried away just doing areas for the sake of it. Like, you know, try and make a bit of sense. See, like this here. See, more or less done anyway. See, I'm done with that really. Oh no, really. See, I'm going to merge that down now. Make another one just really quickly of that. Bring down the opacity of the lines a little bit further even. Didn't have to do it so much, but there we go. I'm going to make this one even very light one now, just to give a little tiny highlight around the edges, and I'll give it a soft blur after I've merged it all down. And there will be ready, you know. Really bright one, and then you can just, of course, you can give it like a final brightness touch up. If I want to have it a little bit brighter, I can do that as well, you know. Just a fine, only a little highlight. Don't go over the top with the highlights. You might want to in certain areas, you know. Okay, so that's that. So things like this, see, don't get carried away. So that you're working it. Okay, things on that you might want to do shines on the hair and things like that. You can get carried away as well sometimes, you know. Shines and shadows and certain things, you know. You can always try it, bring the brightness up or down, and give it a test if you're not too sure. You know, things like that. I think it's okay though as we got it. I'm not going to go crazy with this one either. And I may just keep that black, that blue background in as well. I've just merged the lines down with that now. Also, I'm going to give it a little turn, I think, like that. No, I have it like that as it was, more or less, right? Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to give it a slight blur, very slight blur. I think this one's better than the other one we had. But this one's better than the other one we had. Hold on, little blur, very soft blur there. A bit too much already, I think, even. So go back. Very soft blur. And she's ready. She's ready for action, man. You know, going with a bit of contrast now. What I do is I do the contrast. As soon as that's done, play with the contrast a little bit. But you've got to work. You've got to balance it. Don't go over the top. The brightness and the contrast. You may want to also do like a duplicate of that even after that. Make a darker one with the colour adjustment curves. it's just my way of working things. Alright, I work with both. I work with the levels or the colour adjustment curves. Work with both, and you can work with the saturation or the colours if you want to hue and different things. But I do this like, and then what I'll do is I'll use a soft eraser, or I'll use the spray brush, the airbrush, with an eraser mode, and eraser mode, but soft opacity or middle opacity, medium sort of size or whatever it is, and just erase areas softly to just reveal that, which is not like so in the dark, you know, but like that, you know. Now below all this, just on top of the sky, I'm just going to add a bit of some clouds or something too. So she's above the competition sort of thing, you know. She's above the competition, you know. I'm going to merge those two colour layers down, by the way. Yeah, give that a little bit of a blur as well. No, I'll just use the blur brush is what I'll do. Use the blur brush, a bit of a blur there. That's a bit of fun, you know, nice. Because it mixes in with some of that blue anyway, makes it a bit realistic, you know. Add a bit of pink in there for fun if you want to do that as well, like with a bit of like a glow, make it like a glow or so, maybe on top of her like that. See, like a nice glow or something. Yellow, erase areas you don't want to have as well, like, excuse me. I can do all that, go like hard light or something if I want to, or just bring that. I'm just going to have it like that, I'm not going to mess around too much more actually. Merge that one down with that, then hold on, merge that one down with that. I'm going to bring this one above everything, that shade thing, we don't need that right now. Merge everything down, we merge her down with that thing, those clouds, and I'm going to just move her over, just position everything and have that shadow thing on the left side. Okay. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut it out. Make it very faint, I think, look better, you know. Okay, and then that's basically that, you know. I'm going to make it very faint. I'm going to give it a cut out again, crop it, trim it, whatever, you know, you're going to call it. Boom, boom. Oh, excuse me, no. Do it again, crop it. Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, yeah. Deselect, save it. You might want to save your work early on in your project when you're working on stuff, by the way. Obviously, because you might crash or you might lose everything, you know. Okay, let's just check out what it looks like. Sometimes it's good to check before you actually close down the program in case it didn't save properly as well. But yeah, so you've got this one and this one. It's a more simple one. This is Disney stuff. And then you got sort of thing, and then you got this. I like this one more. I like this one more. I don't know about you. There she is. Bit rough when you zoom up, I know. You know, rough when you zoom up, but it's alright, you know. If you're doing an animated cartoon like that, or a comic, if I saw a character like that moving around, I think it's pretty cool, man. I mean, you know. Okay, so I want to say thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Take care of yourselves now, guys. Thanks.